Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? My name is Corey Moore, aka Corey Stones. Today is Thursday, March the 1st, 2018. I wanted to have a quick video and discuss what it means to you or what it means to me to be an entrepreneur. And I think it's an important topic to cover, and it's something that might seem obvious, but when you look at the details of what it really means to be an entrepreneur, I think it's important to highlight some of the things that are important to me. And if you are a part of my channel, thank you for being a part of it. If you're not a part of my channel, please click subscribe and be a part of our YouTube community. We're talking about all types of things, including investments, business, cryptocurrencies, mountain biking, snowboarding, all the things that I'm passionate about. If you've paid attention to any of the videos that I've made before, you know that I'm a self-made entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 20, 21 years old. I started several businesses when I was in college, and I'm still doing the same things that I was doing at that point. And I'm 35 years old now. So what it means to me to be an entrepreneur is probably different than what you'll read in a Webster dictionary or what you might get in a business class at the local university. When you're an entrepreneur, there's certain sacrifices that you make that are a part of being an entrepreneur. And when you're an entrepreneur, many times you're the owner of a company, or many times you're the partner of a company, or you're the founder of a company, or the creator of a company, for example. And so when you're starting a company, there's a lot of things that you have to invest, whether that be money or time in the form of sweat equity, that you don't necessarily get paid for initially. And that's probably one of the most frustrating things when you're trying to be an entrepreneur and trying to gain the traction to be successful. Because many times when you're starting a new company, you have to invest more money or more time than you're rewarded out, at least in the beginning. Hopefully over time, that continues to shift. And as an entrepreneur or as the owner of the company, that time, that money, and all that sweat equity that you've invested eventually turns into a positive gain, and you end up making profit, whether that be profit in the form of selling the company, profit in the form of taking a salary, or whatever the case may be. So being an entrepreneur requires sacrifices. It requires consistency. It requires dedication. It requires hard work and focus. And it also requires sacrifices. Sacrifices that you know are going to be required before you become an entrepreneur. If you're expecting to start a new company and in a month you're going to be making $100,000 a year, probably it's not going to happen. Now, you may have an opportunity to do that, and you may have a well-funded startup company, or you may have a company that you are getting involved in with some serious, deep and pocketed investors, and they're able to pay some of these founders initially, but usually it doesn't go like that. Usually, even the Amazons, the Apples, and all the big companies that you can imagine and think of, usually those are the companies that started with a group of, a small group of individuals in a garage or in a basement with an idea. And they wanted to disrupt a market, and they were willing to put forth the effort in initially with the hopes that they would be rewarded in the future. So being an entrepreneur means making sacrifices with your time, making sacrifices with your family, making sacrifices with the amount of money that you receive. If you're an entrepreneur and you've started a company and you have employees that are a part of that company, you have to pay those employees before you get paid. So many times when I was a young entrepreneur and I was starting businesses, I didn't pay myself. Now, obviously you say, well, how did that work, right? Well, there has to be a point in time where you get paid. It has to be a point in time where that changes and all the hard work that you've put in ends up coming back around to reward you financially for the work that you did originally. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and in the event it doesn't happen, you have to shut the company down and start something else or go a different direction or get another job or what have you. But when the company is successful, then over time and over the course of those sacrifices, you end up becoming rewarded as the founder or the owner or the original entrepreneur that started that company. You become rewarded for the hard work that you put in initially. But to get to that point, it requires sacrifices. And it requires looking at accounts and seeing, okay, I've got to pay all my other employees and I've got to pay all these other bills and invoices before I can take some money myself. That's not an easy thing to do, especially when you have a family or you have other people that are relying on your income, or you have bills, or you have mortgages, or you have all the other things related to the cost of living. So that's a little bit about what being an entrepreneur means to me. Also, what it means to be an entrepreneur to me is diversification. I don't know many entrepreneurs that have done only one business. Many entrepreneurs that I know are involved in a variety of businesses and a variety of industries, and they're involved in a variety of investments, and they don't put all of their eggs in one basket, so to speak, because they understand that markets are volatile and they understand that certain times markets are better and other times markets are not better. And so you can spread out your entrepreneurial ship or your investments in the companies you're involved in, then you're going to have a much greater ability to succeed over time when certain markets may be down and other markets may be higher. So that's another really important factor about being an entrepreneur that I think that I wanted to highlight in this video is diversification. So really, what it means to me to be an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur means you're going to be dedicated, motivated, consistently, and you're going to be hardworking and focused every day, day in, day out. It also means if you're an entrepreneur that you're going to make sacrifices that sometimes you don't like. And sometimes those sacrifices aren't easy to swallow, but those sacrifices are necessary for the outcome of the success in the long run. And the other thing that really defines being an entrepreneur to me is diversification. Being able to diversify your involvement in businesses or in investments in a variety of industries to protect yourself against the shifts in markets that may happen in particular industries. So this is just a short video about my opinion on what it means to be an entrepreneur. If you're interested in being an entrepreneur, I encourage you to think about those things deeply so that you could really understand what is required and what it's going to take to be an entrepreneur. And if you already are an entrepreneur, I hope that you can reconsider some of your thoughts and think along the lines of the advice that I just gave you, no matter how successful you are, because it's a different perspective and it's a different opinion that I hope will have some value into your life. And what you need to sit down and think about is, these are my thoughts about what it means to be an entrepreneur. What does it mean to be an entrepreneur to you? And how do you define being an entrepreneur? And that's most important. Again, my name is Corey Moore, aka Corey Stones. I hope that you'll click subscribe, be a part of my YouTube community, stick around for some new content. We're going to be talking about all types of cool stuff: investments, cryptocurrencies, running a business, mountain biking, snowboarding, custom jewelry, all the things that I'm passionate about that make up my daily lives. Have a great night. Hope to see you around soon.